Now it's time for another edition of What Would Jello Do? What happens when the government riots? Part 3. When the looting starts, the shooting starts. Whoever fed him that line knows damn well where it came from. A segregationist police chief in Miami. There's gonna be the most vicious dogs, the most ominous weapons. What did he think he was going to do? Send Don Jr. and Jared and Stephen Miller out to the protesters on their hands and knees to start biting their ankles and stuff? He really was going crazy in that bunker, I guess. If he really had the most vicious dogs, they'd be down in the basement too. And if they've been there all the time he's been president, those are angry dogs. Wouldn't you love to see really rogue, amped up, angry, starving police dogs maul Trump instead? Jared! Get him, make him stop! Make him stop! Beat him up for me! Make him stop! Jared! Netanyahu's troops get to shoot kids who throw rocks! What about me? Why don't I get to be more like his government in Israel? Jared! So what does he do the next day? He calls up, conference call with the governors, and instead of trying to finally do his job and coordinate something like he should be doing with COVID-19, instead it's, you weak. You need to dominate with overwhelming force. I have the military right here. I've been offering it to Minnesota, and he hasn't asked me to send them in yet. They're all ready to go. Thousands and thousands of the nastiest troops I could find. Well, does that mean he went to MBS in Saudi Arabia? Who knows? Maybe so, because not one governor, no matter how out of hand things are, not one governor took him up on it. And not only that, 4 governors refused to let their National Guard troops go join Trump. That would be the governors of Delaware and Virginia, Pennsylvania, even hit Cuomo up in New York. What was he thinking? Governor Ralph Northam in Virginia said, well, based on that call, I didn't send them. Plus, I knew they would not be under the command of the mayor of Washington, D.C., Muriel Bowser, but would be under the control of Wild Billy Barr instead. So what does Trump do, but instead announces he's invoking the Insurrection Act from 213 years ago, 1807. He wouldn't invoke the Defense Production Act to help organize things and get everybody masks and tested for COVID-19. No, but Insurrection Act, he had that all ready to go. Just like these funny people all ready to cause stuff and break windows all over the country. The city or state refuses to take the actions that are necessary to defend the life and property of their residents, I will deploy the U.S. military and quickly solve the problem for them. Quickly? In San Francisco? This? Anywhere? No. What do you want to bet? Those MPs that linked arms with the D.C. Park Police yesterday had even drilled together before at all. It might even be an Abbott and Costello, who's on first, who's on second. What happens if there's a Black Hawk Down incident among the Keystone stormtroopers and all hell really breaks loose? I mean, people get carried away with these weapons. Several years ago in Orange County, an LAPD chopper, I think it was LA, chased a speeder down a highway instead of sending a cop car after him. Let's play in the chopper and chase him that way. Chopper crashes. People in the chopper die. The driver has charged with murder. I don't know what happened to the rest of that case. We can only hope Kushner's in charge of this one, so maybe it will go as badly and incompetently as everything else he gets put in charge with. But to start, out comes Generalissimo Barr to inspect the situation before they go in and destroy everything. And then cops with the park police, who Ian MacKay warned me way back in the day were a lot more badass than the D.C. police, and the MPs, they charged out of nowhere, and then threw tear gas at a totally peaceful demonstration, and then fired rubber bullets this big, which can blind, maim, and kill, or at the very least leave one hell of a bruise. And they don't shoot them off the surface of the street anymore like they used to. They fire them straight at you now, apparently, because enough people hit in the forehead and in the eye and everything else. All this to clear away so he could have this weird photo op waving a Bible, just standing there in front of a boarded up church without even a microphone on him to bloviate like he usually does. What was he thinking? He had said earlier that people who loot and break windows, it's a crime against God. And it was obvious who he thought God was, right? And even the Episcopalian bishop for that part diocese in D.C., she thought it was desecrating her church for him to do that. And even religious right leaders have now said the same. And so Trump, in the meantime, he gets all the blowback. He blames Barr for the whole thing now, but I don't think so. We are ending rights. We are ending lawlessness. I burst out laughing when I saw that one. Ending lawlessness? This is the most lawless president, the most lawless gangsterocracy regime in American history by far. Worse than Reagan, Nixon, and both Bushes and Clinton combined, at least. They want to end lawlessness in this country. Here's how you do it, Dirty Donnie. How about if you resign? And then you take Ivanka by the hand, she'll take Jared by the hand, he'll take Don Jr., and all those Stephen Miller and all the rest of them, past and present, who should have been indicted for Russia, but haven't been charged yet anyway. All of you then march out and check yourselves into prison. I would be happy to throw away the key for you. Yeah. But instead, it's all Antifa. Billy Barr says so. Jared says so. Antifa is now being designated a terrorist organization. And the lawless police are not a terrorist organization. Government war on its own people, that's terrorism too. You want terrorists, real terrorists, look no further than those clowns with the machine guns and the Confederate flags and the noose and the swastika and the Trump 2020 flags who took over the Michigan Capitol building because they didn't like wearing masks and did everything open, even if it was too early to open it and all. But no, they're not terrorists. They're really good people. Not even the neo-Nazis in Charlottesville were really good people. Only some of them were good people. Now they're all good people, and the governor should go down and make a deal with them. Deal with them. As I said before, those people and the way they did that are a dry run for how they intend to intimidate voters and steal the election this fall when you got pickup trucks full of people like that all over the country. At the same time, they won't let people vote by mail anymore if they can get away with that. Just imagine what Trump-a-muck has planned for the 4th of July this time. I will not allow angry mobs to dominate. Except his buddies in the Michigan State Capitol building and in Charlottesville, who are growing by leaps and bounds, maybe even because they're getting more money as well as membership. I wonder where that's coming from. Of Trump's red, white, and blue brown shirts. Very slippery slope, those brown shirts, remember? Well, and we're going to protect people's Second Amendment rights. Oh, really? Since when were the protesters going door to door taking away people's guns? They just don't want to be shot because they're protesting or because they're black or something like that. Oh no, Second Amendment rights. Hint, hint, Proud Boys. Hint, hint, Oath Keepers. Hint, hint, 3%ers. Remember how pro-police brutality was during the 2016 campaign? They aren't beating enough people up, and he was going to bring back all the torture from Abu Ghraib and Gitmo and commit more war crimes, even if it was on his own people, I guess. I don't know. And let's not forget that raid on the Michigan Capitol building was financed in part by the DeVos family. And that Eric Prince, whose sister Betsy Prince married the DeVos and became Secretary of Education, wrecking the school system, and Eric Prince married a female DeVos, joining right-wing extremist families in Holland, Michigan. Anyway, he was caught a while back on the New York Times recruiting his network of ex-spooks from his company Blackwater to infiltrate and spy on known terrorist groups in the United States, such as the Michigan Teachers Union, for Project Veritas, the thing run by James O'Keefe, who pulls right-wing pranks and sting operations on people, and he was taking O'Keefe's people to his ranch in Wyoming and drilling them on paramilitary tactics. As Chris Rock would say, what is up with that? I mean, sure, they're trying to pat the Hong Kong protesters on the back, but who they're really patting on the back by learning by example, they're imitating the Chinese government in Hong Kong, because they don't want too many people with umbrellas who won't get out of the streets. Is using the military on the American people in a law enforcement exercise even legal? The Insurrection Act has been used before. LBJ used it 4 times to quell riots. I do believe Daddy Bush sent them into LA during the Rodney King riots too. Amazingly, Abraham Lincoln didn't use it in New York when so many people were getting so wild against him and against the Civil War and all. But there's still debate. Some people are saying, no, it's illegal the way Trump's trying to do it. Other people are saying, look, that's exactly what it is, and it doesn't collide with the Posse Comitatus Act. They both allow this. Thus, the dry run earlier of sending our military troops for no reason to the southern border to aim their guns at suspected illegal immigrants or something, or the animals, as Trump so racistly calls them. That was to test to see how many people might come down on him for that and see if he could get away with it for bigger reasons. And meanwhile, trying to whip up the Nazi frenzy with Antifa this and good people that, and provocateurs who may actually be Nazis claiming to be Antifa, helping to make these riots work. There's no question he was trying to escalate everything to a boiling point so they could shoot more and attack more, maybe even bring out dogs like a Southern sheriff if they actually got any, and see how far they could get away with it. I'm not sure he expected so much blowback from his own party and allies over trying to become a dictator, and failing that, at least be like Bull Connor when he sicked all those dogs on people in Alabama. Some people think that's the dark thing in our history. Trump and his crew think it was cool, and they're nostalgic for more. A long time ago, with all the spying and dirty tricks, even before Trump, Watergate is basically legal now. But should Kent State be legal too?